Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We are live streaming to all four platforms again, and got a few people still coming in, but I'm going to cut that short, and we are going to go over to our intros. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be. My name is Michael Price, and I'll be your host for today for Lunch with Mike, streaming every Tuesday. God, tomorrow's Thursday. I'm thinking Thanksgiving. My bad. Streaming every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern to all four platforms. Brought to you by Federal Sales Sherpa, MarketUS, and our special guest today, BenefitsUSA. So let's get going and see what we're going to do today. I just gave you the introduction, and you're looking at the agenda for those of you that can't keep up. Our guest interview will be Daniel Freund of BenefitsUSA, and I have to say a couple things. We are getting extremely close to the end of open enrollment. Those of you that are confused, I get 17 emails and phone calls and text messages every single day telling me it's open enrollment. I've had my plan, and I'm not going to move it because it's perfect. It's called the VA. And I also have a health care plan. So, be that as it may, the folks over at BenefitsUSA will do three things for you. 1, save you money. 2, save you time. And most importantly, keep your employees happy. You're going to find out all about that today as we bring Daniel in to give us his presentation. And then something that most people don't ever do is give you a live demonstration of the product that we hope you will sign up for. Hope you like that. Let's move on. Daniel, good morning. It's afternoon. My bad.
Thank you, Mike, and happy Thanksgiving, everyone. If you're watching this today, chances are good that you may need some software to help you with your open enrollment, that it sneaks up on you just like doing your taxes. Next thing you know, time's gone by and the deadline's here and you got to get it done. So BenefitsUSA, if I switch over to my screen here, who are we? Since the last century, that is to say, we've been doing this since before 2000. Okay, I know I have gray whiskers, but it's not that bad.
I really like the pink shirt.
Well, thank you. And I wore my Thanksgiving blue.
The pink shirt. It's Pink Day. Well, actually, mine is more of a salmon, and yours is a salmon that got laid out in the sun too long. Anyway, let's move on.
Okay, so BenefitsUSA specializes in benefits enrollment and administration. We have very large clients. We also work with a lot of governments. We work with employer groups, associations, unions, and we are, in fact, the only HubZone Ben Admin administrator that's recognized by the Small Business Administration. And what specifically can we do for you? You know, again, I think you're attending today because you may need open enrollment help now, and you say, "Oh my God, there's not enough time for us to do it." That's actually not true. We can deploy cases quickly. I would suggest that if you are one of those individuals that's looking for an open enrollment solution to have an effective date of 1/1, you do want to get in touch with us. And in the chat box, I think my colleague Jim has put a link there. And if you click that link, you can give us information about yourself, and we will get back to you, notwithstanding the holiday, ASAP. Perhaps you never put in a formal solution before. Perhaps the system that you have right now is too expensive. It's difficult to use. The support is not what you wished it would be, or it's unpopular with employees. They find it confusing or they don't like it. So we think we're the best value around. We can work with any payroll system, human capital management, human resource information system. We work with any carrier, every product. And we automate the things that you would expect, which is moving the data from our system to your third-party administrator that handles COBRA, ACA reporting that you have to do every year, flexible spending accounts, healthcare savings accounts, etc. we really do work with any size group. Most people don't bother with us if they're 2 or 3 or 4 people, because you really don't need a whole Ben admin system to do that. If you have any doubt, just get in touch. Again, go to the chat box and click on the link and get in touch. We can implement a case for your employees to enroll in as little as 10 business days. Considering we're at Thanksgiving now, that would leave your people a couple of weeks to actually enroll with an effective date of 1/1. You have to remember, it's a lot of parties involved: medical carrier, dental carrier, COBRA administrator, etc. And we have to get the data to them in time for everybody to get their little plastic ID card. So our process reduces errors. A benefit administration system is going to give you one database in a secure environment. We use Microsoft Azure. And so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to make sure that the employee fills in all the information that they have to fill in. That is essential. We don't let them get off the screen. So we're going to probably be importing information from your payroll system, name, data hire, and so on and so forth, because there's eligibility rules. We're going to allow individuals to review that information. We can lock certain fields, such as date of hire, social security number, and we can leave other fields flexible. So if someone fat-fingered a date of birth and inverted 2 digits, you can allow the employee to change that. So that's under the discretion of you as the client, which fields are editable, and so forth. And next step is the employee is going to go through the wizard, and we're going to demonstrate this in just a few moments. The employee is going to go through the process, and when they reach their benefit, they're going to be able to get information about it, typically a PDF, and also videos in English and Spanish. And incidentally, they can enroll in English and Spanish. And the employee is going to get educated about their medical plan, their dental plan, so on and so forth. And then the employee is going to have an opportunity to model that, because the employee may have a spouse, and their spouse may have a medical plan. It's a decision: should we all be on the plan for the employee or the spouse's plan, and waive? Where are we going to put the kids, and so on and so forth. So all the different pricing structures are available there. And what's my next step? Support, decision support. So there are tools there to help the employee decide which plan is appropriate for them. We can compare all the different features along with the cost, because to compare cost without comparing the features is kind of vacant. So it's we're gonna demonstrate this process in just a few moments. So software demonstration. I guess that brings us to the software demonstration. So what you see here is the screen that the Human Resources Department is going to be using. Now, I don't know what size company you have. We said that we currently have clients that are up to 750,000 employees. So when we go, just to quickly show you how that would work, these are the different assignments. So in our fictitious company here, we have Brunswick, Miami, North River, and San Diego. So we can have unlimited locations, unlimited divisions, unlimited classes. This is perfect for if you have a situation where you inherit a new business. Maybe you're an advertising agency and you just bought an agency in Miami. So you now have all the benefits that are going to be available just to the people in Miami, and an HR person who knows all the Miami people. So you can set up the database so the Miami HR person just handles Miami. And then when it's open enrollment time, which is what we're talking about right now, okay, you can broaden this so that that HR person can handle anybody in any location, and so on and so forth. So we refer to this as scalable privileges, and it's very handy for assuring that you always know that the only person who's looking at that data had authority to look at that data, and it allows you to have a modern company, because employees are splattered all over the country, and you have different medical plans because they can't be in the HMO because they're not near the home office. They're a remote employee in Alaska, and so on and so forth. So I'm going to shrink this up. Now it's time for self-service. So we have to send out an invitation. and it's time to send out your invitations, and you want the invitation to also include the COBRA employees, and you want the invitation to be for, we said that we just added this Miami thing, it's open enrollment, so you want all your locations, and you're going to do the same thing for divisions and classes. You click a button, and an email is going to go out to all those employees. Incidentally, okay, not going to show you everything today, but just a classic thing that you might be thinking, well, gee, if I send an invitation to the employee and they ignore it, our system gives you 3 more automated emails that are sent out. Hey, reminder, we know it's the holidays. We know you want to do Christmas. Open enrollment's going to end. Be sure to, and then they get another reminder and another reminder. So it's very convenient. So after the employees have been invited, it's time for the employees to go through the experience, which is what I'm going to show you right now. Incidentally, if you have questions, you can put them in the chat box. And Jim can let me know that I'm not monitoring the chat box. My buddy Jim is. Let's take a look at what the employee experience is. And after we look at the employee so-called journey, okay, we're then going to come back to here, tools and exports, and we're going to show you how we can automate the file which is going to go to your payroll vendor, the file which is going to go to the medical carrier, the flexible spending account carrier. All that stuff is automated for you. We're going to come back to that. Right now, we're going to go do the journey for the employee. So if I was looking at this from a phone, it would look like this on an iPhone. Okay, so you can see that it's shaped like a phone, and I can log in here, and I think this guy's name is Kevin. Oh, also I can do this in Spanish, okay, and it's all going to be in Spanish, right? And I'm going to go back to English, okay, and I'll show you when we're enrolling also. We can jump back and forth, and so it's easy for people to move back and forth. Let's face it, employees find enrolling in insurance challenging. We know that. We know that employees don't like to do it. Got that? We also know that people find insurance confusing in their own language. So if they're speaking Spanish, help them out. Let them do it in Spanish. So I'm going to put in this person's name, Kevin. 1, 2, 3, 4, and his password, and invalid password. Cancel.
It was Keith. The name is
What's
Keith.
that?
Keith is the name of the record.
Oh, Keith. Thank you. That explains it. Good, I have somebody spotting me. Okay, and here's Keith. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to spread this out and show you what it's like on a bigger screen. Okay, so that works. Okay, and now the information that you see here was pre-filled with information from typically the payroll system. The D is dash lane. I'm going to turn my dash lane off. Dash lane password manager options. I think I turn this off somehow or other. Turn this off. Pause for this visit. Okay. Well, anyway, Dashlane is just a password manager. It has nothing to do with BenefitsUSA software. Anyway, so the employee puts in their stuff, and if the employee wanted to put in their phone number here, they can put in their phone number. So you can decide which fields the employee can see and which fields are going to be locked, and they're going to continue here. If the employee has a need for help, they click on help, and that's going to bring them to a telephone number for the HR department, or if you hired an outside enrollment firm to help you, whatever the case may be. And even though typically when we get a case, we don't have the dependent information, if for some reason we do have enrollments, you might have had an enrollment that came from a medical carrier, and you might have had an enrollment that came from a dental carrier. They're different. Sometimes they have Tom and Tommy, and the person only has one first name. All that stuff has to get cleaned up. So we want to make sure that the employee dependent information is correct. There's instructions here that tells everybody you're supposed to check everything, but we know people are people and they don't want to really do enrollment, so they're going to go fast. So when they continue here, we're going to push these people through each of the dependents to make sure that we actually have the right information. Okay, so they can't skip that, which is a good feature. And I continue here. You'll notice here that we give you an opportunity to have a different address for the dependent, okay? And that's important for COBRA and HIPAA purposes. We have a tab here to collect additional information. For example, if I have an emergency contact, my emergency contact is my friend, and so on and so forth. You can fill in that information, and I'm going to click on continue. And now what we want to show you is quickly how the employee would enroll in benefits, particularly medical benefit. The first thing that we're showing you here is we can also help collect documentation that you may need. It's very common for us to talk to clients, and the Human Resources Department may say, oh yeah, we have an employee manual, but we never really recorded anywhere that the employee read the manual and understands the manual and agrees to the manual, and so on and so forth. So that's one example of how we can promote that for you. So this is a copy of an employee handbook, and it automatically pops up, and the employee clicks, I want to sign. Click here to view and sign, okay? And and here's the actual handbook. So the employee can read the handbook and all of that stuff, or the employee can simply click on accept and sign, which you and I both know is what most employees are going to do. But there's their whole 60-page manual there that they said that they, accepted, okay? And I'm going to submit. And what we did is we recorded a date and timestamp for that for you, okay? And now the person has benefits here. Person's going to look at their medical benefit, okay? And a video is going to pop up. They can watch the video. And if I play it here, because of the technology, you're not going to be able to hear this person speaking, but this person speaks, and they're going to go look at their available plans, okay? And here we have a situation where this person is enrolling in, there's one medical plan here. We can actually compare multiple medical plans, and you can compare every single feature in the plan. It's important to know that in this situation, if this person adds a child, you're going to see the costs actually change as they add their dependents, okay? In our example here, they're using a multi-tier rate, and when they add the family, we're always going to show the employee's cost in the employee's mode, because that's what the employee understands. And that brings me to the point that we handle all 53 payroll. We handle every payroll mode that's available. And you can have multiple payroll systems, because we know large companies do, and you can have multiple payroll modes, but the person's always going to see their payment in their mode. Now to continue here, if people have to fill forms, we can pop up the form as we just showed you with the employee manual, and we can force them to do that. This is optional here, so I can just click submit, okay? And there you go. Now, requested and current benefits here. The short-term disability, they can view how the short-term disability works and watch a video on it. Same for the long-term disability and so forth. We have tools over here, which is going to show the employee the estimated deductions for their decisions that they make. And we also have a decision support tool here, which is going to help a person calculate if they're handling a 401k or disability or life insurance, what are appropriate amounts. And benefit statements can be designed for your circumstance so that the employee can understand and appreciate what the value of the benefits are. That's particularly important today, where there's more turnover than a lot of employers would like. And when we click continue, the system automatically pops up an interview confirmation. If this was going to be mailed, we have a way that you can click a button as an HR administrator and produce these for a mailing. They'll fit in a number 9 window envelope with a sterilized social security number, And when we added additional questions like who was your emergency contact, I only said that they were a friend. I didn't fill in their name and stuff, but all that information would be here. And this is going to show them what the cost is of their medical plan that they have. The long and short-term disability are paid for by the employer, so there's no cost, but there is a cost, and this is their payroll mode for it. And this shows the plan that they enrolled and the people that enrolled in it. And when they click accept and sign, once again, it's going to memorialize this by putting a date and time stamp on that. That's getting kind of small to see, but if you look down here, you can see the date and time right there when this person accepted that. So the beauty of this is it makes it easy for the HR department. So the employee will only see the benefits that they're allowed to enroll in based on the business rules, when they were hired, what their location is, what their class is, what their division is, what their payroll mode is. And so they'll only see those medical plans, et cetera, that they're supposed to see. So if you have multiple classes for your life insurance and disability insurance, again, they see the plan which is appropriate based on their location, class, and division. Chevy doesn't get the same thing as Cadillac, and so on and so forth. Okay, and so now I'm going to go back and show you what it's like to be an administrator. This employee has finished their enrollment. Some data was put in there from the payroll system. The employee added some information. They went and modeled their benefits. They picked the plan that they wanted, enrolled the dependents that they wanted, signed the HR form that HR wanted, filled in information about emergency contacts, et cetera, got to the end of it, got a confirmation, which they could print out if they like to print it, or they could save it as a PDF document on their desktop. And now it's back to the employer. So the employer goes back out here to home, okay? And you can see that there are 4 people, 3 from other demos that have actually enrolled, all right? And the person that we just did was this person, Kenneth Kinsley. We can go and look at every single thing that this person has done. If we're, belt and suspenders crowd and we want to look at everything that they did, we can mass approve this person right here, okay? I'm going to cancel this because what most employers do is they simply say, whatever anybody did is good. They had plenty of opportunity when they were enrolling. I'm not going to sit here at holiday time and go through everybody's single enrollment. But it's nice to have that oversight in case you have a particular employee who's been problematic with their flexible spending account. They cry that there's money left at the end of the year. So you might want to supervise some people. I'm going to mass accept everything. Are you sure you want to accept all these changes? I'm going to say yes. That commits all the information to the database. And now our automated file feeds are ready to run, sending that information to the third-party administrator, sending it to the medical carrier, and so on and so forth. So I'm going to compress this, go down to Tools and Exports. And this is an example. If I click of a payroll file for ADP, paychecks, etc. Okay. So again, we work with any payroll company, any HRIS, any HCM, Human Capital Management, Human Resource Information System, any payroll company, any third-party administrator, any product, any carrier. It's pretty flexible. Okay, so I'm going to click Execute and Schedule. Now, if I click Execute Now, all we're going to see is an example of an Excel file. So we can lay out the columns any way we need to. So when we're working with you, we're going to be working with your vendors, your broker, your medical, dental, vision, life, disability, pet insurance, whatever your different carriers are. They all have different protocols, which is what data elements do they want, how do they want them laid out, capitalized, don't capitalize, etc. And they're also going to give us a protocol for the delivery of that file. Do they want it? And that's what I want to show you now, which is how that schedule is created. So that schedule is going to recur, and it's going to recur weekly, and it's going to recur on Fridays. And we can pick the time of day that it's going to recur, and we can send that file to wherever it needs to go. So oftentimes we're going to send this to the HR person, okay? and they have an email, which is HR at Yahoo. And HR wants to get that file if it's a success or a failure. So they're always aware when those data files are happening, if they're succeeding or not succeeding. And there can be multiple different people, again, because you can have a complicated company with a lot of people, a lot of location class division, and a lot of HR people are responsible for different parts of it. So I click cancel here, and that's a view of how we at we showed you the administrator view, we showed you the enrollment configuration, self-service, and managing the data. Summarizing, we believe that we can fit your budget. We're very economic vis-a-vis extraordinarily expensive systems, which try to do everything under the sun. We found that a lot of times having someone just do the benefit administration for you, and then we can connect. And one of the beauties of our system is you don't have to change your payroll at the same time you're changing your Ben admin platform and also changing your flexible spending account administrator, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So we fit your budget. We're very prompt. We can, as we said, we can build a case in 10 business days from when we receive the last vital piece of information. It's intuitive for both administrators and employees. And if you aren't using a system at all, this is going to replace a lot of tedium that you're doing, which is ad hoc systems of email and PDF files and fax machines and all the rest of it. And by so doing, by putting everything in one secure database, which is held on Microsoft Azure, which is a high trust environment, we're going to help you with your compliance. Okay, people are not going to be enrolling in programs that they're not eligible for. And I think that brings us to the end. So thank you for watching. Are there, Jim, is there anything from the chat box? Is there anyone's question that we need to address now?
There have been no comments so far.
That might be asking too much.
But I have a question.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to tie that bow or learn how to tie that bow tie?
Well, you know, if I want to really risk it, I can pull the bow tie, and you can time me, you know, and say, you know, how long does it take this guy to tie a bow tie when he doesn't have a mirror in front of him, you know? And the answer is, you know, I once lost a bet to my son, which cost me a bottle of bourbon, you know, but that's okay. It was all in the family, you know. He was quicker than me tying a bow tie without.
Wait till he gets arthritis in his hands, then let's have that contest again.
Okay, so how did I do? Okay.
Under a minute.
Okay, so that's doable. You know,
I'm going to go practice when we get done here.
Okay, well there you are.
Well,
So,
I don't see anything here. Of course, we're on 4 platforms. I can only see one, and that's with the next version of the software. That's going to help us do a lot of other stuff. So let's get into the wrap-up since we have no more questions, or no questions other than mine. I feel honored.
Awesome!
Yes, it was. It was a wonderful, wonderful presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, stop what you're doing and go to BenefitsUSA and sign up now. He says, what, 4 or 5 people? You may not need it. Get it anyway. It's cheap. It's a heck of a lot easier. And I love anything that lets me just fill in forms on the web, push a button, and I got a copy, or it goes where it needs to go, and everybody is happy. So let's, we got a couple things left here, and I want to remind everybody that next Tuesday, which is 4 days after Thanksgiving, we will be live streaming again, and both of us, both Daniel and I and Jim, who's sitting in the moderator seat, we know this person all too well, and I should probably just rent her a room. Well, everyone, as you can see, we have snow on the ground, just like our guest today, who lives in the Midwest. but our snow's cooler than her snow. Anyway, welcome to Lunch with Mike, brought to you by Federal Sales Sherpa and MarketUS. And we are approaching the end of our November live stream series. And every Tuesday, and I will have the December schedule up probably by the weekend. But anyway, let's get right into it, and we have to pay the bills first. BenefitsUSA, we've done a number of live streams with them. We've done a number of YouTube and Zoom meetings with them, but we're nearing the end of open season. So now is the time, if you're still on the fence, if you're frustrated, scared, whatever, to contact BenefitsUSA. Give Daniel a call. He's sitting by the phone right now. I just hung up with him. And he will save you money, save you time, and make your employees happy. So tell them we sent you. I don't think it'll do anything for you, but tell them we sent you. Good morning, Eileen.
Hey, Mike, how you doing?
Well, I just put up the 22nd slide. Well, we'll get rid of that real quick. That's all part of being live. We make mistakes.
Right. That's right.
I make mistakes even when I'm making mistakes. So, what the heck? Tell us what's going on the coin term to bid or not to bid. What movie? That came from History of the World Part 1, but it wasn't.
Right.
It was something else.
Right. What was the thing it was from? Maybe Hamlet, a little Shakespeare. But today, when we talk on the 29th, we're going to be talking a little bit about the cost of writing blind loser bids. We really need to start really focusing on only writing winning proposals. And the only way we can do that is create a series of questions we need to ask ourselves, and intelligence that we actually need to have in our fingertips. And if we don't know this information, we shouldn't be bidding on a blind bid. It can cost a company up to $64,000 to write a proposal. People don't believe me, but if you take 4 resources for 30 days to write a proposal and multiply it by $100 a person, then add in their evenings, their weekends, and any other proposal writers that you're bringing on board to help you, it adds up very quickly. And the last thing we want you to do is to write a loser. So we're going to get really focused on the 29th and talk about how we can avoid writing losers and only focus on writing proposals where we know the contacts, the incumbents, and I can go on and on about some of the other questions you need to ask yourself, but we'll do that on Tuesday the 29th.
So wait a minute. You're telling me that if I'm an idiot and just start writing proposals on everything that comes across my desk, that's going to cost me $64,000 or more, 65, 66, whatever.
If it's a long IT project that has a lot of technical and a lot of pricing and some past performance, some of these proposals can take a long time to put all the pieces together, and it will take you multiple resources to do it. If you're writing a request for, an RFI or a sources sought, those are a little easier, 10 pages. You can turn those in here and there. But an actual RFP takes a big effort. So we want to make sure that we're only writing winners.
Wonderful. I believe, ladies and gentlemen, that deserves an applause. Thank you. And we will see you on the 29th.
Sounds good.